The Magic Shop. I pushed my bed against the door and placed the nightstand and pretty much everything else to stop them. I'm not sure how long it will hold. I can hear them pushing against the door. It's dark here inside the closet. I guess I should start at the beginning. Last week, I was walking with a few friends downtown. We found a weird-looking small store we hadn't seen before. It had miniature skulls and all sorts of weird things on the shelves. What caught my attention was a stack of old books in a corner. While my friends messed with a jar full of something labeled rat eyes, I decided to take a look at the books. Voodoo chants, hey? It sounded funny but I couldn't read anything inside it. Moon rituals, shadows. They all said confusing things. The lower planes, when my attention was caught by that, I couldn't move my eyes away from the pages. It described demons and all sorts of disturbing creatures. There were many drawings, many of them far too realistic, drawings of animals turning into monsters, illustrations of what was written on the pages. How much for this book? I asked the lady at the desk. An old man was yelling at my friends for breaking some flasks with green liquid. Are you sure you want to buy this thing? She said. I couldn't tell if she was mocking me or something, but I didn't like her tone of voice. Yes please, I said. She nodded and said, that would be $27. At the moment, I was thinking I'd have to go without food at school for the next week, not knowing I wouldn't have to worry about it. Well, my friends had to stay. It seems that they broke around $300 worth of things. What the hell was that green goo? Back to, holy fuck. That was loud, sorry. These things broke something downstairs. Anyway, I got home, ignored my mother and brothers, went straight into my room and jumped in bed. The book seemed amazing at the moment. I spent about 3 hours reading until I was called down for dinner. Images of what I guessed was hell still fresh within my mind. I stayed up until 2 a.m. reading. I was about to go to bed when I found this, How to Make a Demonic Servitor. I had to read this a few times to understand it, but it seems you can call a demon and push it inside a living being, making it obey you. I stayed up until sunrise reading all the details. I made a list of what I needed. After breakfast I took a nap, and I swear I could hear a noise of something scratching within my nightstand. When I woke up I noticed that the inside of the drawer where I stuffed the book was full of scratches. I should have taken that as a bad sign. First up was a long branch from a tree. I needed one just a little bigger than myself. I cut one from the tree in the backyard. I needed a few crystals, got those at that weird store, and a few herbs. Now all I needed was water from a spring and dirt from a graveyard collected at midnight. What? I swear I can hear them chewing up bones. Ugh. The water cost my friend a 3-hour trip and me $30 and some old trading cards. The dirt was a little harder to get. I cut my leg jumping that wall. I took the bark off of the branch and cleaned it. I had to cut a few symbols into it. It was sort of a staff, I guess. I know this sounded like a lot of work for nothing, but hey. I was bored and I don't have a life. Pretty soon, that's going to be literal. I turned the herbs into a paste and mixed it with the dirt and water. I lit up a few candles and placed everything in front of me. Brown. I called upstairs. Brown is my younger brother's dog. I tied him to a bedpost and began reading the words in the book. The dog seemed to be scared or in pain. After a few moments his face went blank. I moved the bowl with the mix closer to his face and ordered him to eat it. He never listened much, but this time he listened. He finished it all and even licked the bowl, and with a final few words I touched his head with the stick and he fainted. I was freaked out. For a moment I thought that stuff had poisoned him, but after calling out his name a few times I thought, maybe it worked. The book said he had to die for the demon to take over his body. It said I had to grant him a new name. Well, and here goes nothing. Rise, Gara. After he didn't stand up, I thought I was a fool for doing this and making Brown die. I untied his limp body and carried him downstairs. I placed him next to the sofa to make it look like he just died for no reason. After a night of sleep full of nightmares, I went down to eat cereal in the morning. To my surprise, Brown was sitting next to the table, sort of waiting. He was a little too still though. "Mama? Why is Brown all stiff?" She said he was probably waiting for my brother. I thought nothing of it and got myself a bowl of cereal. I was ready to leave when Brown ran towards the door and stood next to it. I remembered last night. "Gara!" he barked. I then noticed his eyes had gone from the usual dark brown to a reddish tone. I, being the sort of person with a twisted sense of humor, had an idea to try. "Gara, rip off Adrian's pants now." Sure enough, the dog ran upstairs. Next thing I know, I hear my brother yelling Brown to stop. I was laughing my ass off when the dog came downstairs holding my brother's pants in his jaw. I had to run upstairs and get the book from the drawer, then yelled, "Madre! I'm going to take Brown for a walk." In a lower voice I said, "Gara, follow me." We left. My best idea was to go to the park and finish reading about this. I didn't want this to backfire in the end. According to the book, the bodies of the servants needed flesh and blood to live, but they also needed souls. Souls? I guess you can eat squirrels and such. I was a fool. In the next week I used him for simple things, to bring me stuff and such things. I'm not proud to say this, but I also made him attack a few guys I didn't like. And took their wallets. Don't lecture me, I've had it bad enough as it is. Fuck, I can hear the door beginning to crack. It was until about a month and a half that I noticed something weird going on. He was dropping a lot of hair, his tail was almost bald now, and he was now covered with what seemed to be blue-green scales. I must say this scared me a lot, but I didn't think anything else about it. Another month went by. I had to order him to hide in a forest. His eyes now were pure bright red, he had no more hair, his ears had fallen, his teeth were much longer and looked sharp as hell. He was also much bigger now. I would go see him every day and ordered him to hunt for his food and dig himself a hole to be his home for now. I was wondering what I should do to him. Tell my family what I did? Order him to starve himself to death or drown him? Well, I got my answer. Today I went to see him. I saw a small group of squirrels on a tree. I was shocked when I saw them closer. They had the same red eyes and their fur was beginning to fall. They stared at me until I walked behind a tree. Then I saw a small puppy, the same, but he had bite marks on his back. What the fuck is going on? I started running. I saw a duck and a few other animals that looked just like the others. Many of them had bites in their bodies. "Gara!" I called. I was out of breath. I noticed many small bones and blood around the place. The hole was much bigger than the day before too. "Gara!" I called again. On the third call it came out. He not only was standing in his back legs now, he was much taller than me. He had changed much. He had. Fuck. The door is down. I don't think it'll take them long to find me inside the closet. I don't have much time. They will die once I'm killed, but burn the damn book. Don't use it. You'll see all the weird bodies on the ground and this on my phone. Don't repeat the. This was found within a home, in a phone next to a dead body. The phone was broken and the information retrieved via a computer. No other bodies were found and the mentioned book had only blank pages. It mysteriously disappeared from the evidence locker in an undisclosed police department. Stay paranoid, my friends.